been testing things like crazy. I've told you before, this is my favorite. It's a analog on 1504.5s, and this thing rips for about, I don't know, like five minutes of like going nuts, maybe a bit more. If you were to fly gentle, it would get more flight time. This is the Crux 35, and you can see when you take it and you stick it on a discus, this thing, oh yeah, so the this with the battery, so the 3S with a 650 3S HD0 discus and with the bumpers on it weighs 169 grams all up weight. Okay, when we take the just a pure Crux 35 and we stick it onto a discus frame, and we take a 4S 650, it weighs 1 gram more. But you have to remember that this doesn't have the bumpers on it either. They're both on 3mm carbon. But yeah, tight built. The motors actually weigh the same too. This is a 1304 motor, and it's these motors weigh the same as these 1404s. These 1404 4S and these 1304 3S. Now, there's a 20 amp all-in-one in there, and I'm just curious. I don't know if any of you would know this, because I was gonna do it, but I'm just not sure if I just take the 3.5 inch props and I put them on this setup, will the 3S motors be fine pushing them? I think they should be, because it's just like this motor is literally the same like size and weight as the 1404 4S, but I'm just worried that it might be too much for the motor to push the 3.5, but it is a light build, so I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I've seen some of those like boards, like the things where they show you all the motors you can use, but the 1304 motors and that kind of setup isn't really mentioned. I've done 6S on 3-inch. I've done the 3S now, and this flies really nice. You're gonna see it, but so this thing can fly for 9 minutes on the 4S, and then this thing flies for about like 5 minutes. What is the right size for everything? Is it 3-inch? Is it 3.5? Is it 6S? Is it 4S? Is it 3S? Testing like crazy, because now I got all my discus frames and everything kind of set up. This guy is made out of one of these, and this is 35 grams and this is 29 grams. So just from taking this and converting it over, and I put the 1002 motors and the bi-blades, was saved 5 grams, and this flies so much better than that. And even though it looks like it's flimsy, it's not. It's tough. This thing has been my best whoop ever. Like, even with this light little analog, I've already been like cracking stuff and having to like change it, and it's super light. But this has really been a tank. And it looks nicer. And then we have the digital discus, the DigiDisc, and I haven't flown this much. I have to change the this is my first EP2 to kind of behave badly. It loses connection really quick, so I just got to put a new EP2 on there, and then I can fly that. But I'm also about to build a polar discus, so it's going to be like a nighttime discus. We'll call it the Niscus. From all these testings, I'm thinking that 4S is the way to go. Like this, you're gonna see this thing fly. We got a nice little edit, and I tried to kind of like full throttle it a bit too, to like go fast, but I've switched from, like, I was going at like a 15-degree angle, and then I went to a 45-degree angle. I really like the 45-degree angle. That and this are both on 45 degrees, and I really like that. It rips. But now with this, it's a 30-degree angle, and I think 30 degrees is like my new favorite angle. I just feel like it gives you not as much speed as 45, but a little bit more relaxed. I tend to fly, like, I don't really care about going the fastest. I like to kind of float around and do like movements and stuff. Anyways, with the 3S, I'm not getting as much flight time. I'm also feeling like when when you do like punch outs and stuff, the voltage drops a lot more than on the 4S. Like on the 4S with this thing, I can just rip around and keep going, and I don't feel like there's that big voltage drop when I hit it. Same thing with this. With the 1404 motors and the light build, this thing can just like go forever. It just flies for like 10 minutes on a 4S 650. But I prefer this and kind of getting like 5 minutes of like ripping, but having that like pure power the whole time. Where this, like when I hit the throttle, it goes and there's no sag from it. And this almost feels like that. Like it does feel pretty powerful and pretty smooth, but it doesn't, this is not as stable as this is. So you can see in this video how nice this thing moves, the control I have over it and everything. And then you'll see, yeah, the first pack, I have a bit more fun with it. And then the second pack, I'm just kind of like shooting down the street and seeing how far I can go and how fast I can go. Top speed, I don't even think I full throttled it. But when I was really pushing it, it felt like it was a little, maybe a little bit flimsy. There was a little bit, it didn't cut through the wind as well as this one does on 4S. Like this one just rips. And I don't know if maybe it's because this has the steeper angle, so it's easier for me to go straight with it. With this, I just felt like I was going straight, but it was like the resistance of the wind was like fighting it a little bit more than it would have with this. So maybe the extra weight just helps you cut through the wind or whatever. But let me know if you think that these 1304 would be fine with the 3.5 inch, if any of you know. I just don't want to put them on and blow up a motor or something, because if these props are fine on this, I wonder if that would make a big difference. Yep. Okay, let's go fly.
So we're shooting up the street, and I didn't mess with the speed of the video at all, since this second battery This is the second pack, I think. So now I'm just trying to kind of like give it. And it's kind of like trying to like drift a little bit from side to side. And then I got distracted. I was like, ooh, a vehicle. But I was giving it. It doesn't feel like it goes as fast as the 4S and like as steady, like, I wouldn't say it's floaty, but it's a little bit more flimsy. And the voltage, when I do stuff, I kind of feel it go from like 380 to like 360 or whatever quicker. So it's a little scary. That was like a punch out. And also this is on 3-inch versus 3.5. I'm just kind of trying to get used to the feel and everything. Because I haven't flown this that much. It's still basically a new build. I'm also trying to learn how to read like link quality and RSSI. Getting used to it, right? Like DJI, it's kind of like you fly until it starts getting a bit blurry and then you know it's time to go back. With HT0, it's kind of like, it is like nicer analog, but it still kind of scares me a bit because it's like it goes pretty far. But then I get afraid that I'm just gonna like lose the picture. I am using the 90 Hertz camera, but I don't have the HD0 goggles. So I'm using the Fat Shark VRX, which is older. I think that sometimes I feel like it stutters. And actually, this second flight, it's at the higher, it's in the 90 Hertz mode, which actually makes it perform worse than when it's in the 740 60. But I updated all the firmware, so maybe that made it better, because before, when I tried to fly it in the 90 mode, it kind of stuttered a lot more. But this time, I didn't feel like it was stuttering as much. But still, I did notice that when I have it in the 90 mode, it doesn't fly as well, or as far, as when I have it in the 740 mode at 60. And tomorrow you'll get to see that flight where I take it up to the building and do the dive, and it actually works because it's not in the penetration mode or in the 90 Hertz mode. So come back tomorrow and check that out. Don't forget to subscribe.